Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Byron the Dragon King here again today with a brand new video. And today I decided to talk about the new Mortal Kombat game, uh, which I'm going to refer to as Mortal Kombat 12 because I think its name is stupid. And that's really my first issue, is that its name is Mortal 1 Kombat or Mortal Kombat 1. Now, you might be asking yourself, Byron, what's wrong with that name? And I'm here to tell you it's dumb. Like, if you're talking to like a normie person at work, or a family member or anyone who isn't super well versed in the series, if you go, yeah, I like Mortal Kombat 1, and they'll go, the 90s game? And it's just like so fucking stupid. It's like the Xbox One. It's like when that was revealed, it's like it was so annoying when you're like talking to people who weren't super versed in video games and stuff, and they'd be like, "Oh, uh, yeah, like, did you ever have an Xbox?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, I had an Xbox. Which one?" Uh, the original Xbox. It's like so fucking annoying because like before the Xbox One came out, I just called the original fat Xbox the Xbox One. But once the Xbox One came out, then it's like the classic Xbox, the original Xbox. And now with Mortal Kombat, it's like, what am I supposed to call it? Mortal Kombat 1991? Because Mortal Kombat 9 was they decided to name that Mortal Kombat because it was a reboot and shit, and it was so annoying. So everyone had to call that one Mortal Kombat 2011, and then later Mortal Kombat 9 when X came out. But now with Mortal Kombat 1, it's like so much easier just to be like, yeah, that's Mortal Kombat 12, and not be like, oh, that's Mortal Kombat 1, because like it's so simple when you talk about it to be like the original arcade game to call that one MK1, because that's what everyone's been doing for years. Everyone's like, oh yeah, MK1, 2, 3, etc., etc. Like no one want like Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 3, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, and I don't know. Another thing I have an issue with is the roster. I'm so sick and tired of the roster always being like the same thing for every NetherRealm game, where it's just MK9's roster, which is just like MK Ultimate, MK3, MK2, just repeating over and over again. You'll miss like one or two characters, but that's like it. It's like MKX, you didn't have like Baraka and Shang Tsung, and then like, but like every other game, it's just repeating and repeating and repeating. And then you look at the DLC and it's like, oh, cool, Quan Chi's back again. We really needed him. Oh, Ermac is stuck in DLC land and he looks like shit. Oh boy. Like the only one that's like kind of neat is Takeda, but it's like, why is he like the only one that's not just like, oh, you were just MK9 again? And like, I think like the only character that's like new that hasn't been in like the previous NetherRealm games is Lee May, and she just doesn't look great. And this brings me to my next point: is I'm so tired of NetherRealm just relying on time travel and reboots. Like MK9 reboot, MKX progressing the story, it was actually kind of nice. MK11 time travel into reboot. MK12 reboot, and it's just like, geez, you guys are like so creatively bankrupt that you can't like continue a story. Like MK11 had two different time travel plots, and it's just like, oh my fucking god, dude, it's so annoying. And it's like, okay, now the events of the previous game don't matter. Literally in MK11, Chronica fucking rewinds time, and it's like, oh okay, cool. Like if she can just do that, why? It's so dumb. And now in this one, they're showing like the Tarkatans who have Tarkat disease and whatnot, and like Melina has it, and it's like, okay, why can't Liu Kang like change it so she doesn't get this disease? Why why is she stuck having it? Are there certain things like canon events from Spider-Man that just can't be undone? Like I just don't get it. And speaking of Spider-Man, this brings me into my next point. I'm just really sick of how the last two games have just like reeked of MCU garbage. Like MK11 just really had that MCU humor, and like Jax literally in his ending makes Wakanda, even though it makes no sense. It would have made more sense for Jax to have Jackie's ending, where he like makes it so he never loses his arms or becomes a revenant, and because of that he never meets his wife, and then Jackie's never born. and then he regrets it because his whole fucking story was about like him being overly protective of Jackie because he lost his wife. And like that just makes more sense. But no, he makes Wakanda for some reason. Be- why? And then in this one, in MK12, they have Tanya with her Umgadi or whatever they're fucking called in Lee May, which is basically the Tora Milaje or whatever the fuck they're called from Black Panther. They just look like that, and God, I don't like what they did to Tanya. I really liked Tanya's MKX design and like her 3D era design. This one just doesn't look good. I don't like it. I don't like her weird stuff she's doing. And like I just don't like a lot of the new changes. Which brings me on to the redesigns and character erasure. So I don't like that Scorpion has been revealed to be Kuai Liang. I don't like I was like, oh cool, the Sub Zero's Bihan, that makes sense. Uh why can't Hanzo just be the brother, like adoptive brother to Bihan and Kuai Liang? Why does it have to be that Kuai Liang is Scorpion? And that like because Smoke's already like adopted and shit. I just don't like it, and I don't like how Smoke looks, and he has that fucking Karen haircut. I guess it's maybe better than his MK9 haircut, but like I don't know, man. It just doesn't look good to me. I don't like his weird reliance on a knife and shit. He just didn't really look cool. Like Smoke and MK9 looked fucking sick. Smoke and MK12, and I guess there hasn't been a lot of breakdown for Smoke, but he just doesn't look great. Johnny doesn't have his force ball. I almost said her, and like he has that weird black effect, which is kind of neat. It'd have been cooler if it was like a skin, and like you had a kind of like how Kenshi has the skin before he loses his eyes and his vision. And it's like, why can't we just have like Johnny Cage before he gets his powers, and like maybe his projectile instead of the force ball is like him throwing something similar to how in MK9 you had Human and Cyrax and Sector, and they had like special animations and stuff. But whatever. I'm trying to think of other designs. I think the Raiden one's okay. Kung Lao's okay. I kind of like Katana and Melina's like relationship. I just don't really like how Outworld is just Edenia. Like Edenia's not its own thing. Outworld is like just pretty, and it's like, why can't Edenia just be its own realm? What does this mean? There's not really like a focus on other realms. We haven't seen anything of the Nether realm. We haven't seen anything of Chaos realm, of Order realm, of Edenia, Venturis, any of the other realms. And it's just like, ugh. It's like, why are we always stuck to Outworld and Earthrealm? I just miss the days of like the 3D era where you'd get so many different unique new realms and stuff. And like speaking of the 3D era, there just hasn't been any like cool 3D era characters they've brought back. They've showed Darius as an assist. Ooh, and they have Frost in her MKX design as an assist. It's like, wow, the only like 3D era character we have is Lee May, and she doesn't look cool at all. She just doesn't really feel like Lee May. And this brings me on to the gameplay. I don't like MK11's gameplay. This one looks slightly better, but like I don't really like the assists. Some of them are really hit or miss. I don't like the Scorpion where he can like pull you back so like you can zone better. I don't really like a lot of them. They just seem weird. I don't know how I feel about it. Maybe it'll make it so the story mode's better, so like characters can do stuff and they're not just sitting on the side. And I don't know. I feel like it could be really interesting. I just wish, because like someone asked like, oh, is there like a mode where you can turn off the assist, which I think would be cool. Like why can't you? And they're like, no. And it's like, NetherRealm, why can't I turn these off? Oh, it's integral to the experience. It's like, why isn't it just a mode? Why isn't it just a mode? I feel like if it was a mode and you could turn off assists, that would put more diversity and like story writing capabilities in the story. Because, like, oops, what if there's like certain missions or like parts of the story where it's a 1v2 on your side or 2v1 for your side, where you're like outnumbered and like it's a bit more of a challenge, and like in the story you're like ambushed or something, or like in the story it's a 2v1 because you're just fighting someone that strong, so you need the extra help. And I don't know, I don't really like it. I don't really like the clash in like aesthetics with the cameos. I don't I'm just not a fan of like MK1 Sonya design or any of that. It just all looks really goofy and like jarring. But yeah, I haven't really seen any character that's really like grasped me and like made me go, "Wow, I really want to play this game." I really want to pre-order it, especially cuz the combat pack has been revealed and it's like, "Oh, we have Evil Superman, John Cena, Quan Chi, shitty looking Ermac, and Takeda." It's like, "Wow, that really makes me want to spend $30 or whatever the fuck it's going to be." So, unless they like show something that's super interesting, or show like characters I'm really hyped for, like I just don't know. It's like there's no Havoc, there's no Ashra, there's no Natara, there's no Shujinko, there's no Hotaru, there's no Blaze, there's like no Boraicho, nothing from the 3D era besides Kenshi and Lee Man. It's like Kenshi's basically been in every NRS game. He was DLC in 9. He was on the roster in 10. He was in the crypt in 11, and now in 12 he's on the roster again. It's just like, dude, like they just don't take risks, it seems. Like I don't know. I just miss when the rosters were a bit more crazy and stuff, and like had new and interesting characters. But you know, let's shit on Suhao and Cobra more, even though they weren't terrible. Ha 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 ha. But anyways, guys, that's gonna be the video. Let me know what you think of MK12, Mortal Kombat 1, whatever you want to call it, in the comments down below, and leave a like if you liked the video. And I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.